White House spokesliar Karoline Leavitt just landed herself in some major financial troubles, certain to wear away at her already dubious credibility. Stay tuned, kids. This is fun. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. So, few Trump administration officials have the reputation as Karoline Leavitt, a woman that dresses like she's auditioning for the Real Housewives of Mormonism and who also looks like a kindergarten teacher later revealed as a serial killer. Not that I envy her job. Every day she has to field questions about the Epstein scandal while Trump has fled to Scotland, ostensibly to discuss diplomacy, but in reality to golf on the dime of taxpayers. Did you catch this earlier? Okay, that's not really on topic for this story, but it is fun. Sacks of piping hot crap attract flies. It's a wonder Trump hasn't been eaten alive by them. And the same goes for Leavitt. For all her attempts to look like a plucky, good Christian girl raging against the lions, which in this case is actually her trying to hide the truth from reporters, nothing can hide her combative nature. She's become notorious for exchanges like this one.
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question.
In the president's comments yesterday, though, he just said protesters would be strongly dealt with. Why is he not out saying all peaceful protesters will be protected?
I think two things can be important at the same time. And the president, as I just answered, supports the right of Americans to peacefully protest. He supports the First Amendment. But that is not the majority of the behavior that we have seen taking place in Los Angeles. We have seen mobs of violent rioters and agitators assaulting law enforcement officers, assaulting our federal immigration authorities. And we have seen, as I said, this goes back to what this administration is trying to do and accomplish, and that's enforcing law and order in our nation's communities. And it's removing public safety threats from communities in Los Angeles.
Isn't that charming? Prepare for comeuppance. Stay with me here. For many political observers, Leavitt and her designation as White House spokesperson seem to come out of nowhere. Few remember that she actually ran, and lost, for Congress back in 2022. As a far-right MAGA wingnut, she won the Republican nomination in an upset. Take a look.
I'm Karoline Leavitt, and New Hampshire's my home. I grew up here in a business family, then worked for President Trump, fighting against the fake news and political elite. Now, they're back. Biden, Pelosi, Chris Pappas are destroying our economy, brainwashing our children, and allowing illegals to invade. But together, we can fight back and win again. I'm Karoline Leavitt, and I approve this message because our home and freedom are worth fighting for.
Karoline Leavitt for Congress.
Yeah. And did we mention she lost big in Connecticut? Big surprise, right? Anyway, her failed campaign brought her to the attention of President Taco, and the rest is history. And now, it seems, history is coming back to haunt Ms. Leavitt. It turns out that even if her bid for Congress landed her a job in the Trump administration, it cost her a lot more. Like, a lot more. A new report by journalist Dave Leventhal, published on the web outlet Open Secrets, details that Leavitt's campaign left her in massive debt to the tune of $326,000. Leavitt owes the money to more than 100 creditors, according to a new disclosure filed with the Federal Election Commission. And here's the juicy bit. She hasn't raised money to pay off her debts since April. And here's the even more juicy bit. Most of that money comes from illegal campaign contributions that, by law, she is required to pay back. In November 2022, the Democrat-aligned Political Action Committee and Citizens United filed an FEC complaint against Leavitt's committee, alleging that it violated campaign finance law by accepting contributions that exceeded federal limits. But here's the catch. The FEC can't actually rule on the complaint because the agency lacks the minimum number of commissioners to rule on the case. That's because Donald Trump hasn't appointed any, likely to prevent them from ruling on cases like Leavitt's. Numerous other politicians are in similar hot water with the FEC, including Newt Gingrich, who owes a whopping $4.6 million, Rick Santorum, and Mike Pence. And since Trump has a habit of not paying back his own debts, don't act surprised. This is just the latest instance of the Trump administration's wild corruption and cronyism, and a further erosion of Leavitt's non-existent credibility. When will the flies start swarming this sack of piping hot crap? Maybe that's why we never see Ms. Karoline on the golf course. Think about it. This is Occupy Democrats.